Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we're going to be taking a look at a new discovery for an Undead Nightmare reference, which is crazy, the amount of references we're seeing to this in-game. It's so cool, and we'll also be talking about how an update like this might actually work, and how it might have to expand outside of the current borders. So anyways, let's get it started today, and let's talk about this new discovery. I mean, there's so many references and Easter eggs and hints about Undead Nightmare and RDR2. We'll be talking about them in this video today, but there's actually a new one that I had never seen before. And this was actually posted on the Red Dead Mysteries subreddit. A user shared what they found to be pedestrians and NPCs mentioning the Undead Nightmare mask. Take a listen to this right here.
I caught the maid nattering about that Jade mask again. They'll believe anything.
You just find out.
Okay, so as you heard there, it seems like it's this lady talking to one of her friends, and she said, I heard the maid talking about that Jade mask again. And her friend was like, wait a minute, you haven't heard about this? So that is incredibly interesting. Now, if you're wondering what the heck they're referring to when they mention the Jade mask, this is the mask that is the cause of the plague in Undead Nightmare.
Look in that chest. He has a sacred mask. That is where this plague came from. Him and his awful lust for power. Return the mask.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
How do you know?
My name is Ayotioto.
Ayotioto.
A horse is waiting for you. You should return home.
Now, a little bit of background on this mask. It was removed from the catacombs beneath Escalera by Abraham Reyes, and it was later returned by John Marston, who returned the world to its original state. However, it was stolen by Seth Briers sometime after 1911, which leads to a new outbreak, resurrecting the undead zombie John Marston. So that's a little bit of background on the mask, and as you guys heard there, even the NPCs in-game are talking about it. So apparently the rumors of this Jade mask have been known for a long time now. So if Rockstar were to make a Undead Nightmare expansion for Red Dead Redemption 2, I feel like it would have to take place in Mexico, and that these updates would sort of have to be hand in hand. Now, as you guys know right now, Mexico is not an integral part of the map in-game. However, it is like pretty detailed, whether it's wildlife or vegetation or even some of the iconic landmarks that appear in the first game. They are in Red Dead Redemption 2, but not a single thing occurs there. However, a big part of Undead Nightmare, in fact, the majority of it, takes place in Mexico. In fact, Mexico is actually in way worse shape than America in Undead Nightmare. And this is where John actually meets a lot of interesting characters, including some characters that we've seen in RDR2, like Mother Superior and the famous Landon Ricketts he gets to meet there. So there's a ton of people that not only do we see in Red Dead Redemption 2, but this would also be the perfect opportunity for Rockstar to expand into Mexico. I mean, if they needed a reason to go there, this would certainly be the one. Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos, this is not the first and only reference of the Undead Nightmare mask in Red Dead Redemption 2. So probably the most popular reference that I think most people are aware of is the fact that the Jade mask can be found at the Saint Denis fence. It's just sort of sitting on the shelf. We don't know why it's there or how it got removed. If indeed that is technically the only Jade mask, then it's already been removed from the catacombs, and I guess you could say the Undead Nightmare plague is still out there, could still be active. So it can be found in the Saint Denis fence. It can also be found in various locations around the Saint Denis fence too, like literally just outside of it, like at this little stand, sort of in the Saint Denis market. It's there as well. So I don't know how Rockstar is going to get away with explaining the fact that this mask is in multiple locations at once, because it can also be found in Red Dead Online too. You guys know Old Man Jones, his little shack that you can change your honor at. The Undead Nightmare mask is there too. It's like he possesses it as well, which is pretty strange, I'm not going to lie. So that's another location of it. And there's even more references in-game that suggest an Undead Nightmare expansion is happening. In the town of Blackwater, there's mysterious writing that you can find all over the rooftops. And if you're able to find all of the mysterious writings, it essentially translates to, "Blessed are the peacemakers, Ayutthaya." Now, if you're wondering who Ayutthaya is, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, that is an Aztec goddess who is apparently responsible for the plague that is happening in the world. Now, in Undead Nightmare, she actually appears several times. The first time she appears as a woman in Blackwater, where she actually talks to John Marston. So we see her a lot of times throughout the story. So needless to say, this Aztec being, force, or goddess is a big part of the Undead Nightmare story, and that's just another example of her being represented in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, there's also some less obvious clues and less obvious hints that Undead Nightmare could be coming. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to point out the fact that if you go in certain places of the map, specifically dark underground areas, our characters will literally look like they are undead, which is kind of interesting. Like this example right here, there's a well in tall trees. And if you climb down that, John Marston or Arthur, if you're able to get him to this location, literally looks like he's a member of the undead. Some people say that it's a lighting glitch. Others say that it is truly a reference to Undead Nightmare. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I think it is pretty cool. You've also got other references as well, like the town of Pleasance with the giant stay out plague written on the side of the barn. Does that have anything to do with Undead Nightmare, or is it completely unrelated? Now, anyways, getting back to how Undead Nightmare would work in Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm trying to think what time period it would take place in. Because in the first Red Dead Redemption game, it happens in 1911. Well, we don't reach that point in time in Red Dead Redemption 2. Our game stops in 1907 in the epilogue. Now, the important thing to know about Undead Nightmare is that Rockstar have specifically said that it does not fit into the canon of the game or the story. So that means that it doesn't have to make sense with characters coming back to life or whatnot. However, I still think it would be tricky if Rockstar tried to do this in the epilogue. So what I think would be cool is if Rockstar did an Undead Nightmare expansion that not only took us to Mexico, but also took place before the start of Red Dead Redemption 2, before 1899. So we got to see sort of a younger version of Arthur Morgan, because I would imagine Rockstar would want to do this with Arthur, considering they already did this with John in the first Red Dead Redemption game. I could also see them bringing back a ton of characters from the first Red Dead Redemption game as well. We've seen this a handful of times in RDR2. One of the big characters in Undead Nightmare was Seth Briers, who actually ends up stealing the mask back at the end of the game, which causes John Marston to sort of return into a zombie form. So I could totally see him coming back and, doing something that involves the mask. That would be pretty awesome. But anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about the latest discovery in RDR2 for Undead Nightmare, and do you think Rockstar will do anything regarding this in terms of an expansion or a single-player DLC? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.